So this tutorial shows how to use the circular pattern feature. I always use circular pattern in 3D modeling mode, not in sketch mode, because it's just easier. So I have here a small cylinder, a thin cylinder, and I'm going to create a hole, and then I'm going to use circular pattern to duplicate that hole. So if I have a sketch here, project geometry, and I'm going to put a point for my hole, and let's say I'll make that 6 inches in diameter. So let's say I'll make that 1.5 inches from center. Finish sketch. Actually, that sketch is not completely constrained. Let's make that point horizontal with the origin. All right, now we're completely constrained. So finish sketch. I'm gonna make a hole, and let's make a counterbore hole, and let's make the hole. Let's make the. It's really big right now, so it's taking up the whole thing. So let's make that get a 1/4 inch hole, and make the counterbore 0.375 inches between decimal places. Well, that's the depth. I'm sorry, counterbore's already 0.375. So let's have the counterbore go down 1/2 inch, and then let's have that hole go all the way through. So I have a 3/8 inch counterbore, 1/2 inch deep, 1/4 inch hole all the way through. Hit OK. And I have my hole there with my counterbore. All right, so now that I have that feature here, I can use circular pattern, which is over here now. You want to click on the feature. You can either click on it in this view, or you can click on it on the browser. What some people struggle with is if you're looking at it directly on like this. Well, I can because I have a counterbore, but if I didn't have that counterbore there, sometimes this might be hard. It might give you a hard time clicking on it that way. Click on the feature, and then go to rotational axis, go to that arrow, and you can click on an axis or any circle that is centered on that axis. So I can click on this circle here because that's centered on that axis. Or I could also literally click on the z-axis because that's the axis that it's going around. But again, typically it's easy to click on a circle that's centered on that axis if you have one. So now here, I want to say I'm going to go all the way around, and then this is going to evenly space this many over this distance. Right now it's on 6, so I have the one I started with, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I can make it 8, and it'll evenly space them. I can make it 12, and it still evenly spaces them. All right, or if I make it 4 or 5, but it'll evenly space the holes around this degree around that axis. Hit OK, and I have my 5 holes evenly spaced around the center of that axis. If you ever want to change it, you just double click on the feature, just like you do with an extrusion or a hole, and you can just go back in and change this number. Okay. All right, so that's how you use circular pattern. I could have, when I was doing the sketch, I could have used the circular pattern in sketch mode on the point and make the other points. But then when I went to the whole feature, I have to make sure I select all the points in order to do the whole.